as you all know that nervous system controls all the activities of body and is primarily divided into central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system includes brain and spinal cord, whereas the peripheral nervous system is divided as somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. So today's topic of discussion is about the basic unit of nervous system, which is called as the neuron. First of all, the definition. The structural and functional unit of nervous system is called neuron. The term neuron is used to describe the nerve cell and its processes, which is the dendrites and axons. Nerve cell is present in the gray matter, while dendrites and axon are present in white matter. Human nervous system contains approximately 10 to the power of 12 neurons. Classification of neurons. The neurons can be classified by three different methods, depending upon the number of poles, depending upon the function, and depending upon the length of axon. We'll talk about all of these one by one. Depending upon the number of poles. According to the number of poles from which the processes arise, neurons are divided into three types: unipolar neurons, bipolar neurons, and multipolar neurons. Unipolar neurons, these are the neurons which are having only one pole. That is why they are called unipolar neurons. From the single pole, both the processes, axon as well as the dendrite, both of them arise, as shown in this figure. This type of nerve cells is present only in embryonic stage in human beings. We are talking about unipolar. Then next is the bipolar neurons. This type has got two poles, one for axon and another for dendrite, again as you can see in this figure. Multipolar neurons have many poles. One of the poles give rise to axon and all the other poles give rise to dendrites, as shown in the figure. So all three can be differentiated with their features in this figure. Now depending upon the functions. On the basis of function, nerve cells are classified into two types, which are motor neurons and sensory neurons. Motor neurons, which are also known as efferent nerve cells, they carry the motor impulses from central nervous system to the peripheral effector organs like muscles, glands, blood vessels, etc. The motor neurons have long axons and short dendrites. Sensory neurons, which are also called afferent nerve cells. These neurons carry the sensory impulses from periphery to the central nervous system. The sensory neurons have a short axon and long dendrites. Depending upon the length of axon, if we talk, neurons are divided into two types: Golgi type 1 neurons and Golgi type 2 neurons. Type 1 neurons have long axons. The cell body of these neurons is in central nervous system and their axons reach the remote peripheral organs. Whereas in type 2 neurons, they have short axons. These neurons are present in cerebral cortex and spinal cord, that is the intercalated cells. Now let's talk about the structure of neuron. Before that, I'll show you how a typical neuron looks like. So this diagram on the left side, which is the vertical one, shows you the typical spinal motor neuron, whereas a typical structure of a neuron can be shown as given on the right side diagram. So the neuron or the nerve cell is like any other cell in the body, having almost all the organelles in the cytoplasm. However, it is different from other cells because of the presence of the processes and absence of centrosome. Kindly note this point, this is a differentiating feature. It is different from other cells because of the presence of processes and absence of centrosome. The neuron is made up of nerve cell body, dendrite and axon. All this is shown in these diagrams. So let's talk about the major parts one by one. First is the nerve cell body. The nerve cell body is also called soma or perikaryon. They are of various sizes and forms like stellate, round, pyramidal, fusiform, etc. Its principal constituents are similar to a generalized cell, However, after fixation with special stains, its cytoplasm also reveals the presence of a large nucleus, Nissl bodies, neurofibrils, mitochondria and Golgi apparatus. Nucleus. Each neuron has only one nucleus in the nerve cell body. This nucleus is in the central part of the nerve cell body. The nucleus has one or two nucleoli which are prominent. The nucleus does not contain centrosome, and that is why the nerve cell cannot multiply like the other cells. If we talk about Nissl granules, which is also called Nissl bodies, these are small basophilic granules or bodies composed of many thin, parallelly arranged, membrane-bounded cavities or cisternae, which are covered by many minute particles consisting of ribose nucleoproteins, that is, RNA with proteins. So these bodies are concerned with the synthesis of proteins in the neurons. Granules size and number, they vary with the physiological condition of the cell. For example, fatigue, certain poisons and sectioning of axon. This causes Nissl's granules to disintegrate into fine dust, and which finally disappears by a process called chromatolysis or chromatolysis, whatever you call it. The granules reappear after recovery from fatigue or after regeneration. Neurofibrillae. These are fine thread-like structures, 6 to 10 nanometer in diameter and of variable length. They traverse the cytoplasmic matrix, forming a loose framework of fibrils in the cytoplasm. The neurofibrils consist of microfilaments and microtubules. This presence of neurofibrils is also another characteristic feature of the neurons. Now, just like all the other cells, this has also got mitochondria and Golgi apparatus. Mitochondria are present in the soma and in axon. Mitochondria form the powerhouse of the nerve cell, where adenosine triphosphate ATP is produced, which is an energy-rich compound. Golgi apparatus of the nerve cell body is similar to that of the other cells. This is concerned with package of proteins into granules. Now let's talk about dendrites. This was all about nerve cell body which we talked about. Now about dendrites. What are the dendrites? Dendrites are the branched processes of the neuron and are branched repeatedly. These are 5 to 7 processes extending out from the cell body. They may be present or absent. If present, their number may be 1 or many. They also contain Nissl granules, mitochondria and neurofibrillae. They are the receptive processes of the neuron. Dendrites are conductive in nature and transmit impulses towards the nerve cell body. Impulses can be transmitted from one dendrite to another in the CNS, that is the central nervous system. Coming to axon. Axon is the longer process of the nerve cell. It arises from a somewhat thickened area of the cell body which is called axon hillock, in which there are no Nissl granules. That means it is devoid of Nissl granules. The cytoplasmic fluid occupying the center of axon is known as exoplasm. The tubular sheath-like cell membrane which envelops the cytoplasm is also continued on the axon as axolemma. The axon may extend for a long distance away from the nerve cell body. Axons vary from a very few microns in length to as long as 90 centimeters. That is, the longest axon will be about 1 meter. Now there is something called as myelin sheath. What is this? In a myelinated nerve fiber, the axis cylinder is covered by a thick tubular sheath. That sheath is called myelin sheath. It is a protein lipid complex made up of many layers of unit membrane which envelops the axon except at its ending and at periodic constrictions about 1 millimeter apart, called the nodes of Ranvier. Myelin sheath is responsible for the white color of the nerve fibers. Now what is its function? What are the functions of myelin sheath? First is, due to high insulating property, myelin sheath restricts the nerve impulse within the single nerve fiber, and that is how it prevents cross-stimulation of adjacent axons. Secondly, myelin sheath is responsible for faster conduction of impulse through the nerve fibers. In these nerve fibers, the impulses jump from one node to another, and this transmission is by means of saltatory conduction. There is another term which is neurolemma. What is this? Surrounding the myelin sheath, there is a thin membrane called neurolemmal sheath, which is also called neurolemma or sheath of Schwann. This contains Schwann cells, which have flattened and elongated nuclei. The cytoplasm is thin and modified to form the thin sheath of neurolemma, enclosing the myelin sheath. One nucleus is present in each internode of the axon. The nucleus is situated between myelin sheath and neurolemma. At the node of Ranvier, that means where myelin sheath is absent, the neurolemma invaginates and runs up to exolemma in the form of a finger-like process. In non-myelinated nerve fiber, the neurolemma continuously surrounds axolemma. Neurolemma is absent in central nervous system, and this neurolemma is necessary for the formation of myelin sheath. That means for the process of myelinogenesis. Now this was all about the neuron. We'll talk about rest of the portions of the central nervous system and further ahead in next presentations. Thank you so much.